Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics.
Right, I'm here. I've got my coffee. You're there. Wonderful stuff. Lovely,
Right,
lovely.
right.
I'm good. I'm very good. Oh,
Have a slurp. Hello, welcome. It's Drewling Samantics. It's one of the most calm sort of intros we've done, isn't it? Really?
yeah, it was jello.
We're starting with...
I tell you what. I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to sort of, before it all starts to kick off for Christmas and all that bit. It's been a very gentle month. It's gone very quickly.
It has.
But it's kind of been a gentle month. It's
I don't know if I agree completely with it being gentle. I mean, we worked together, which was a nightmare. And
that's
brilliant
never gentle.
Yeah. I mean, we always worked together, but we actually in person did some proper stuff working together, which was it's always a nice change. Not sure how the audience felt about that, but we enjoyed it, so it's fine. But we've had multiple guests, we've recorded multiple episodes, we've done, and it has gone bloody quickly. Like it's basically October. And you said, preparing for Christmas. We've got bloody Halloween first.
We've got all that to come, haven't we? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes. So there's a lot going on. We've been through all sorts of stuff. And the fun is not stopping because we've got another guest today.
Lovely.
Yes. And lovely is absolutely the most perfect word because our guest today is bloody lovely. A wonderful lady I've had the pleasure of working with on several occasions. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with. And to top it all, she does a job currently, the things she's doing at the moment, we've not discussed, I don't think, at all on the podcast.
No, we haven't. Yeah.
I mean, we've probably referenced it, but specifically talking about the role and what it entails, I don't think we've gone into it at all. So this could be a brilliant, brilliant episode. And she's here.
Yes.
She's sat in a waiting room, mate. She's ready to go.
Let's do it.
Rather than sort of waxing lyrical about how brilliant it could be, why don't we show everyone how brilliant it is by bringing her in and having a chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners and viewers of all ages, welcome to Drewling Samantics and welcome to the episode featuring the wonderful, the brilliant, the beautiful Miss Tilly Burrows. And there she is, brightening our lives and our days with her gorgeous smile. Miss Matilda Burrows, better known as Tilly, is with us here on Drewling Samantics. Good morning. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm just, it's 10:32 in the morning, so I'm awake.
Yeah, it's always a good start. And you've just confused all the listeners and watchers because this comes out at 5 o'clock. So
I'm so sorry. It's 5 p.m, so I'm very awake.
That's right. I'll do that bit in the edit. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, Tilly, it's so lovely to see you. It's been a couple of years since we worked together. Slightly less since I last saw you because we were at an event.
We were.
But
was that last Christmas?
No, was it? I don't know.
Oh.
I can't remember. My memory is not very good, as people who work with me will advocate. But yes, either way, it's been a little while, so it is wonderful to see your face. Thank you so much for joining us today. Drew, meet Tilly. Tilly, meet Drew.
Hi, Tilly.
You've both had the pleasure / horrible experience of working with me on numerous occasions, so there is safety in numbers, clearly. However, I'm going to shut up now because I am far from interesting. And Tilly, all the lovely listeners and watchers would love to know why you're here. And by that, I mean, can you tell everyone what you do, please?
So I am currently a swing dresser on Hamilton the Musical in the West End.
Easy as that. Drew's face there. You were about to say, Drew, do you want to explain what a swing dresser is? Because otherwise we'll get people very confused.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, we all know what a dresser is, but what's a swing dresser? What's the exact definition of that?
So a swing dresser works a bit like a covering, like performing swing. So we cover every single dressing plot that happens within the show. So at Hamilton the Musical, we have 8 dressing plots, all of which are covered by myself and my fellow swing dresser. Her name is Sophie, and I love her very much. So anytime there is illness or holiday or anything like that, we will step in and cover that plot to make sure that there is still somebody there to do all of the changes and laundry and all that kind of thing that is required of that plot.
So very much in the same vein of being a swing or an understudy or a cover performer.
Yeah, very that.
You are not doing just one job, really. You're doing, in your case, 8, or you at least have the facility, or you may be called on at any point to be in one of those 8 roles. So what we're looking at is 8 people rolled into one, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, but that is far from all you do. So beyond that, there are many, many other things. We met doing pantomime together. You, again, in a backstage role. Me, very much not backstage, stood out there being an idiot, as we established when we were chatting earlier on. But can you sort of give us a bit of background as well? So how you got to the point you're at now, your sort of journey through the performance kind of world?
Yeah, so I started performing when I was a kid. I used to go to dance lessons, I used to go to acting lessons, and I really wanted to be an actor. And then when I went through secondary school, I was very fortunate to go to a school where they put on a full-scale musical every single year. And I heavily involved with that. And then I kind of looked into more of what drama school entailed and like the things that I'd have to do. And I went, oh, I don't know if I can do that actually. So then I turned to my drama teacher at the time, Mr. Haddon. Again, I will always shout him out because I love him and he's the whole reason that I'm here doing this. And he was like, well, why don't you look into backstage? And I was like, okay. So I kind of fell into stage management, and then through my dance lessons and stuff, I met some people, and one of my friends was like, well, I'm going to Bath, University of Bath Spa, to do their technical theatre course. Why don't you have a look at that? So I did, and I went there, and throughout this period, I'm still doing pantos and working backstage there and doing dance shows and putting on all the different hats that you need to do. I did mics and I did lighting and I did costume and I did everything. And then whilst I was at university, I worked at Theatre Bath, and I did some dep laundry work for them on one of their touring shows that they had come in. Then COVID hit, and I was continuing to do pantos and things like that, and I went back to Bath to do the Into the Woods that they had there in 2022, and then met the costume supervisor of Hamilton whilst I was working there. She really liked me, and then the rest is history.
Wow. and all this in what is a very short amount of life experience so far.
Yeah.
It's a super quick turnaround. Do you mind me asking in front of everyone how old you are, Tilly?
I'm 26.
26, and you've achieved all that. And Drew is 126 and hasn't done half of that. So.
No, I can't even dress myself, so, you know.
Oh, God. Oh, we've descended into horror already.
I'm fascinated by because I could, you know, personally speaking, I started off with an amateur, and we were taught to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And even first few jobs coming out of drama school, I did a bit of stage management, I did acting ASM, I even did some dressing at one point because we were told you learn everything. But it's that decision, isn't it? Is that because you obviously have a love and a passion for theatre? That's pretty obvious. But when you know one's, because I technically speaking, you know, it's like I would love to stage. I love to make things. I could build things, but I you know, Sam would laugh at me about it, but I had no wish to get into the technical side of stuff because I thought that's not where my skill lies.
Yeah,
I can make stuff, and I've made my own costumes and bits and pieces of pant and that. But it's knowing we've spoken to a couple of people recently, knowing where you really want to go and knowing and going, actually, I can do that. I'm really good at that. And the proof is in the pudding. You're in one of the most successful shows, shall we say, in the world, in the West End. You know, and that's no small thing to be in a big show There's an enormous responsibility on your shoulders, and everybody, backstage, on stage, whatever. But it's knowing that you can do that, and I think that's a really important thing. So, I mean, is there anything? I mean, we know that you've done all manner of stage management stuff and company management. Is there anything within that you could see yourself going, actually, I could do that, or for the rest of my career or a good chunk of my career? Is there anything actually that's I'm really happy sitting here, or is it the variety that you really enjoy?
So I've been very fortunate in that everything that I've done has required me to wear multiple hats at the same time. Like when I first worked with Sam, like I was an ASM and dresser and props and all of these other kinds of things, which was really, really fun. And then I kind of fell into dressing. It wasn't what I went to university envisioning myself doing. I thought I was one track mind. I'm going to do stage management. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've always wanted to do. And then I started working in costume and in that world. And I went, actually, this is really fun. Like, you get so much more like one-on-one time with actors, and you get to make so many more friends. And because you're in that world where everyone wears costume, like backstage, you talk with sound and you talk with everyone else, you get to be a lot more social, I think, because you're not having to necessarily worry about like, oh, well, that comes off here and I have to make sure that I'm there to collect it, otherwise the actor's going to be stood there holding a chair going, I don't know where this goes, like do you know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of fell into costume and I'm having a really fun time. So, and I've been, as a dresser, I've been at Hamilton for 2.5 years now. So it's been a long time and I'm still having fun and still being able to move upwards and forwards and things like that, which is really useful and fun.
That's cool. I mean, also it's a wonderful show. So
it's a fun time.
It's an amazing show. So there are worse shows to be on than Hamilton. Let's face it. Yeah.
Is there still an element though that goes, I do want to now get back into stage management or other areas that you've sort of been in before, and obviously you absolutely adore what you do, and there's no sort of thought of I don't want to keep doing this, but are there still sort of certain aspirations where you go, actually I'd love to be in that realm, and even if it was staying in the same show, for example, but going, do you know what, I want to step into the CSM. Are there still elements of that where you're going, this is part of the game plan, long term, whatever, I want to get back into other areas?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, I get to see a lot of the show, and I sometimes will sit with our DSMs and I'll sit there and like watch them cue the show. I'm like, oh, it's so much fun. And getting to watch them do that is fun for me. And it is always something I think that I will go, maybe we'll try our hat at this again and we'll see how much I still enjoy it, because I haven't done it in a really, really long time. So in my head, I still enjoy it a lot, but then in practice, it might not necessarily be the case. But I'm always willing to like try and see what happens.
Amazing. Yeah. And as you say, having that variety and having those options at times is part of what makes this fun. And yes, you're lucky enough to be in a role that you've been doing for what in terms of our industry is a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing. We know no show is ever the same, no day is ever the same, but essentially on paper, the same thing for this amount of time. And actually, speaking of doing things for a long time, are you 8 shows a week with Hamilton?
8 shows a week, Monday to Saturday.
So managing that as just from a sort of a personal point of view, has Panto prepared you for that? Because obviously you were stage managing when I was in Panto for a couple of years, and you'd done it previous to me being there for a couple of years as well. And Panto, we sort of all agree, is the most intense period. So our runs when we were at the Chequermead Theatre were, 4 weeks? So a week of rehearsals and then maybe 4 weeks solid of shows with the odd day off, give or take. and you're doing normally 2 shows a day, the odd 1 show a day, but essentially it's the most intense period of.
Were you there that year that we had 3 show days?
Yeah,
I was about to say, what? Yeah. No 3 show days?
We did do some. It was quite, as Pantago, it was almost a relaxed schedule at Checkermead. I mean, it was still hugely busy, but compared to some, certainly. But yes,
oh yeah, like if you were going to go and work at the Palladium, you'd have a completely different schedule and you'd never leave. But
God, yeah, no, they just sleep in the wings. Yeah.
Yes,
literally.
But yeah, so do you think that has sort of given you a better backing than perhaps someone who hadn't done that before, going into 8 shows a week, every week, sort of with very little kind of time off?
I think so, I've never really thought about it like that. But like getting into the schedule and getting into like, this is my time off and this is when, like, learning the calendar of when everything works and things like that can be quite difficult and quite jarring, especially if you've come from not necessarily working for like a little bit and things like that. Like, I was very fortunate. I went straight from Aladdin that we did together. I had 2 days off and then I went straight in, and I've never really left for more than like 10 days. So it's difficult. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's difficult to especially keep up with friendships and relationships and things with people that aren't in industry. Because it's like, oh, I can do Tuesday during the day, and they're like, I work 9 till 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult and it is tiring at times. Just because even though you have like days off and things like that, it doesn't necessarily always feel like it, because you're like, okay, I don't have to go into work until 6:30, but I have to do laundry and I have to speak to this person on the phone, I have to pay this bill, and like that kind of matching the adult side of life with then also your job when your hours are so vastly different to a lot of other people, can be quite difficult.
I know friends of mine that have worked in the West End, and they've said you need a lot of stamina, a lot of mental stamina as well, because you've got to stay on it, even though you do the same show 8 days a week, week after week after week, 8 shows a week rather. You've got to stay sharp, and like you can't cruise on it. Like yourself, you're waiting. You've got to work to a time scale. You've got to get someone on, off stage, change on the stage. You've only got whatever time the other actors on the stage allow you to do it, or whatever. And so that takes stamina, skill, and as you say, there's a. I don't know. There's a kind of a mental agility. You've got to be awake. You can't just busk it. It ain't going to work, because there's several hundred people out in the audience, and there's everybody on stage, backstage, going, sorry, Tills, but you screwed up tonight. You've got to be quicker, but that can't happen again. Also, you got an actor going, get me my costume. This is the freaking worst. Get me, change me. I'm the worst person to dress. I'll tell you why in a minute. But there is that, and then you say it's great to have a lovely long contract. We all as creatives, we go 2 months here, 2 months there, fab, and you go, God, I got too much work, but then you got nothing at the end of it, or there's a period that you haven't got any work. So the attraction of a long contract for whoever is on the show, it's great, because you go, wow, and you go, yeah, it's gonna be great. But I mean, obviously, now you said we were chatting before, you when it comes to cast changes, then you guys, then going in at 6:30, that's not on. You're in way before.
Oh yeah, we're in.
That's a lot of work then.
All the time.
Yeah, and so when do you know in advance, and what do you do to prepare for a cast change? Because they're not just going to walk into the same cast at all, are they?
So our cast changes at Hamilton typically happen around the kind of June, July area.
Yeah.
And we will start what we call soft cast change, which is where the actors will come in, a lot of the new swings and covers and understudies and standbys and that kind of thing. They will come in and they will start learning a couple of their covers, so that they're kind of ready and they have the ball rolling because they have multiple tracks to learn in the same amount of time as everyone else. So they will be in, and we'll see them kind of about, and we'll have new names appearing on schedules for fittings and all that kind of stuff, which is not typically something that I would do. That would be the wardrobe supervisors and the head of wardrobe and deputy head of wardrobe, and the wardrobe assistants that would deal with that kind of side of it. And then, so the week of cast change, we will have rehearsals during the day. I'll be on stage, tech and dress rehearsals, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we have double shows, so they'll be back at the rehearsal space on the Thursday. They'll be back in on the Friday. Then we've got 2 shows and the end of contract party for the current cast on the Saturday. And then we're all back in on Monday, ready for final dress rehearsal, and then opening show for the new cast on that Monday. So it's a long week. Like, I think this year we were in every day for about 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then we were staying to do the shows and leaving at like 11:15, 10:30 every night. And it's grueling and it's difficult. But what really makes those periods is friendships, like friendships that you have within your department or other departments, and really leaning on each other to be like, no, come on, we can do it, you can do it, I know you can, like. And the fresh energy of the new cast that's so excited to be finally doing it after spending weeks learning it, to be actually in the space and doing it in the costume and getting to know us and us getting to know them. It's challenging, but it's really, really rewarding. And it might actually be one of my favourite times.
I can see that, yeah.
Now, you mentioned something to me before, something that I find really intriguing and an incredible thing which I think should be done more in theatre. And you were talking about the educational side of Hamilton, and there is a particular show during the week that is aimed at schools and young people. Explain a bit more about that, because this is not something I've come across. Drew, I don't think you have either as a performer being involved.
Not as a performer, no.
So talk about that.
It's becoming a little bit more popular now. I hadn't heard of a lot of other theatres doing it previous to working at Hamilton. I know that we do it. I know that Les Mis and I think Phantom do it as well. Don't quote me on that. Wicked. Wicked is the other one, not Phantom.
I was just saying Wicked. I thought Wicked, yeah.
Yeah, so we put on an extra matinee on a Tuesday. It starts a little bit earlier than our regular show. And what we do is we invite schools from the surrounding areas that might not necessarily have the access to be able to come to a theatre and see a show like ours in their everyday kind of like lives. And we put on a show for them with full everything. It's an extra matinee show. But then after that, we invite them to stay in their seats and we put on a 15-minute, for lack of a better term, like display, where we will come out and we will talk to them and they learn about lighting and they will see the DSM cue part of the show. The DSM will come on stage with their book and they will cue it whilst everything is happening on stage. And they'll cue revolve and flies and all of this kind of stuff that they wouldn't necessarily have noticed or have thought that, oh, that's a person doing that job. We will do a costume change on stage for them. They then get a Q&A with a member of the cast will answer some questions, front of house, the band, wardrobe. Like, we will answer all of their questions that they have to try and encourage young people to realise that it's not just being an actor, and helping to kind of shine that light on that it is also all of these other people, because we will all come on stage at the end to show them that, yes, you see these 25, 30 people, but actually it takes like 130 people to put this show on every night.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant way of progression in the industry, I think. And not that we're in anywhere near the sort of levels or what we do, but that was part of the reason this podcast started, because we wanted that exposure and sort of the knowledge of what goes on beyond just being the smiley face of the actor that's forefront. Yeah, that's great. And it's a lovely position to be in, but you wouldn't be there without the tens to hundreds of people doing stuff behind the scenes or doing certain jobs, and it all comes together. And being able to then showcase that to young people and to kind of go, look, you could be involved in the same way. You don't have to be able to sing or dance or act. You don't have to be seen to be an invaluable part of a theatre company. And if you love it and you want to get part of it, this is the perfect way to learn. So, as you said, there are a few shows that do it, but I think it'd be brilliant if more and more did.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's
so.
Becoming more of a kind of thing that companies are putting on. I think that if I hadn't been as fortunate to go to a secondary school where the arts were so accessible to me, and hadn't come from a background where I was able to go to the theatre and see shows, then I think that would have been something that really inspired me to try for it. Because especially now when the arts in schools are being so demonised and being told that you don't need them, it's so scary. Like, because there are so many people out there that have these immense talents and things that could go for them, but they're being told by the government that actually they should be mathematicians and architects and things like that, which are all great jobs to have, but like, what are you going to do if you don't have any kind of escapism? Like, where are you going to go? Like, and it's very inspiring, and it's so invaluable to look out into that audience when we stand on the stage at the end and go, all of these people here could be people that I work with in the future. And that's so fun.
It's interesting because we're during lockdown, COVID, or the unwelcome guest, as we call it. We were told, "Are your jobs viable? You're not needed." And then, Sam said that one of the reasons we started the podcast was say, "Yeah, do you remember us, the people that used to entertain you? Miss us? Of course you do." But it's interesting when you say that all those people sitting there watching that show, that matinee, that Tuesday afternoon, could be your colleagues. It's also saying to them, look, you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to be an actor to be in the arts, but also, these industries that are associated with it, all the technical side, all the wardrobe, all those things that we know go on, that are not only do they, are an integral part of the theatre, but also they're amazing skills to take into the world anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
We can all make, that you could be, all those people that work backstage are probably more employable than all the actors on stage. They could go away and get other jobs.
Probably about it.
No probably about it. I mean, I look at someone, you look at someone like yourself, and there's only one job I can probably do in the theatre, because that's what I was trained to do. But I look at all the people that work backstage and think, okay, so the guy on lights could probably do sound as well. Tilly, who's dressing, could probably actually run the book, or she could probably she could run stage left wing that night easily. All those. And I go, I can't do any of that. I could probably put my own trousers on, but after that, I'm screwed. I can only, and it's getting across to those, to our youngsters, like you say, our arts are being kicked in the crutch, in schools, but there are so many more jobs that if you enter the arts that you're able to do, even, and leave the arts, go off and, a friend of mine who was stage managing, he lost his job, during lockdown, during, the unwelcome guest, he went off and he now trains, he worked on sound. He now works as a air traffic controller, training guys that come out of post-traumatic stress. They have something when they're working. And because he's a sound engineer and everything, he said, I basically take them back and put their fingers back on the board and get them working again. And it's de-stressing it all. And it's like, how did you, he said, because I'm not scared of technology and all that shit, he said, and I have, and it's like, whoever thought of that? So that idea of educating children on those afternoons is just brilliant, just superb. Stunning.
But I'm going to flip things round now, actually, because having said all that and going, look, you don't have to be forefront and stuff. You obviously, when you were younger, were performing, were dancing, were acting.
Yes.
Is there still a bit of you that kind of misses that side of things, or have you completely written that off? And this is very much a loaded question, because I'm about to ask you about something else I know you've done recently, which will prove the opposite of what you're about to answer, I think.
So here's the thing. So I know what you're about to ask me. So being on stage was so much fun, and I will never begrudge myself any of the opportunities that I had and any of the roles that I was fortunate enough to get to play. But I don't think there is a part of me that would want to do it again. Because I have so many friends in industry and I know how difficult it is. And that is the part of me that was always daunted by the idea of not having to be an actor, but choosing to be an actor and the rejection of it all and that kind of thing. It is really scary. And I see my friends do it and go for jobs and things like that. And it's like, oh no, not this time. And I don't know if my own mental stability could take that. And that is a thing I think with actors that is kind of brushed under the carpet, that you have to be so resilient to be able to do what you guys do and be an actor and be told no 18,000 times to get that one yes. And it's something that people think that being an actor and working the arts is easy, and it's not. It's really not. They're like, oh yeah, but you just go on stage and you just read lines. It's like, well, yeah, that is part of it, but then there's also all this other stuff that you guys don't necessarily realise of, the mental resilience of it is something that I don't think that I would ever be able to get over for myself.
Well, that's the perfect answer, because what you've said there is, yes, you'd love it, but there are elements about it that you couldn't perhaps handle or don't believe would work for your kind of own positive mental attitude, for example. But tell us what you've just done where you were very much the forefront, and although rejection didn't come into it quite in the same way, I guess.
No, it didn't. My best friend, her name is Amy Homewood. She is a hairstylist and a very talented one at that, and she asked me if I would model for her for the Goldwell Colour Awards, to basically be her guinea pig and have her style my hair in a way that she would like to. And I said yes, absolutely, of course. So we went and we did that, and we placed 5th in the country for our first time out. So we are incredibly pleased, and I'm so happy for her because it really was her vision, and she just kind of put it on my head.
Literally.
So yeah, we went and we did that, and it was so much fun, and I think we're going to try again next year, which will be very, very exciting.
Incredible. Cool. So you go from stage managing some nutty panto people to dressing some of the best musical theatre performers in the world to modelling your hair. You've done a bit of everything. And we could sit and talk for hours and hours, and it's been so lovely catching up. But you have a crazy schedule, so we're going to try and not keep you too much longer. But I will ask one small favour before you go. Yes. Have you got a story, an anecdote, a little tale you can tell us from all your various different jobs and experiences in the industry, something that we can just leave our listeners and viewers with?
Okay, so my one piece of advice would be don't ever count anything out, because you'll never know what you're going to do, especially if you choose to work panto. So there was the panto that we did over lockdown. It was called Almost a Panto. And there were 3 actors on stage, and we had 3 members of backstage team. So we had a DSM, and then myself as ASM, and then the lovely Martin Allett, who you've worked with, Sam, was also there. We were running the whole shop by ourselves, and there was part of it where we had the crocodile from Peter Pan. We went, oh, we need someone to be the crocodile. Muggins over here was told, you're going to be the crocodile. And I was like, great, got in the costume. The costume is made for a 6 foot tall man. I am not that. I'm a tall woman, but I'm not that tall. So I am in this crocodile costume, pulling myself along. I'm on a dolly, pulling myself along, army crawling myself along on stage, trying to see, which I cannot. And if you've worked at the Jack and Me before, you know that the stage and then you have immediately audience. So I'm swinging this crocodile costume about. There was one point I nearly went straight off the end of the stage because I couldn't see. I had to come on, immediately turn around and then go back off into the same wing. There was one time I got caught in the cloth and I couldn't see a thing. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Cut to Callum having to pick the top of the crocodile up and shove me off stage because I couldn't move and I couldn't do anything. I was just literally floundering on stage, and it was probably very funny to everyone else that was watching, but I was dying a little bit inside.
So what we've established then is there is no thing you cannot turn your hand to, whether it is modelling your hair, whether it is calling a show, dressing people, whatever that job may be, but you're not a very good crocodile.
No, it's not one that I'll add to the CV, I don't think.
No. But I think it's safe to say your CV doesn't really need crocodile adding to it. For such a young woman, you've got this incredible history of credits, and I just tip my hat to you for getting as far as you have. And
absolutely,
I hope that obviously the future has far, far more to hold for you, and certainly hope that I get to share a stage with you, albeit whether you're in the wings or whatever. I hope we get that opportunity again in the.
I think we will.
Tilly, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have you got a show tonight? Are you off to?
I do. I have a show tonight. Yeah. It's 5 p.m. It's starting soon.
It's already started. What are you doing here? The show starts at 5. No. We shall let you get on, but it's been an absolute joy having you on. Thank you so much. And
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Tilly.
We'll speak again really soon. Take care of yourself. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. And there she goes off for what I can only imagine is going to be a really, really busy day and busy show.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've been dressed, but I mean, that was fascinating to find all that stuff. And also the journey that she's taken to get there and being really honest about, no, I can't do what you guys do, but I'm really good at this. I mean, that was so honest.
Yeah, she's just an incredible lady to work with, like extremely, extremely talented, like, and the organisational skills of beyond what I've ever possibly imagined. Because when I was working with Tilly, she was stage managing, stage directing the panto, and the things she had to organise and had to sort of be on top of, and not to mention the fact you've got this idiot and friend of the podcast, Mr. Callum Donnelly, who is equally a massive idiot in the nicest possible way. I'm sure it's me saying that, but yeah, to sort of control all that and run everything else, and yeah, I mean, unbelievable ability to be able to do that. And as you say, now moving into an area, or I say moving into, she's been doing it for a couple of years, being in an area that's again something that is so integral and so important to productions, but doesn't get sort of kudos and the kind of representation and recognition that it deserves. An incredibly tough job, particularly being the swing role. So dressing 8 different characters at any one point, like, yeah, madness.
Yeah. I mean, to be able to go, no, you're not dressing, John tonight. You're onto him, and then maybe her, and you go, whoa, and to carry that knowledge day after day after day, and maybe not use it for say a month, and then suddenly go, you've got to do it now, and be on it. It is a skill, and it is a unsung, hard graft that people miss, and we're not supposed to see it, but
and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like a lot of the people we have on, be it the stunt performers or makeup artists or producers or whatever. They're not doing their job right if you know they're there, sort of thing. It's almost.
But without them, nothing would happen.
Yeah,
it's extraordinary.
And like I said, the eight tracks, learning 8 different parts. Like,
yeah,
I mean, the most I've done, I think I did 4 as a swing, learned 4 different parts. But to do 8, like...
it's a big ask, isn't it? It's a big ask.
Madness. But another fabulous guest.
Brilliant guest.
Wonderful, wonderful person. Miss Tilly Burrows, everyone. Please do check her out online and go see Hamilton and see if you can spot her amazing work, although you won't see her.
No.
Just marvel at everything altogether. But yeah, so anyway, another one out the way, mate. Another one down. We're smashing through, getting through.
We're charging through this season. It's gosh.
Yeah, I don't know where time's going, mate, but I'm loving every second of it, even though I've got to put up with you every week. So it's
even though you've got to put up with me next week, mate.
Well, that is true, and I haven't even got the lovely Tilly or someone else to take the edge off. Next week it's
no, it's just yours truly.
Indeed. But I joke, I jest. I am, of course, looking forward to it, as I'm sure everyone out there listening and watching.
Always a giggle. Yeah. Always a giggle. Yeah.
Please do come back next week. We won't have the beautiful Tilly Burrows with us, but I will have this idiot and this idiot. So if you're up for a couple of idiots nattering at each other for half an hour, 40 minutes, then why not come join us again?
Please do.
Until then, see you all later on. Have a cracking week.
Take care, everyone. Cheers, Sam.
Thanks again for watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video.
Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app. And please support us on social media. All our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so why not share with your family and friends so they can join in too? Thanks very much. See you next time.